I'm just going to chat a little bit today about the University of Worcester. If you do have any questions, like if anybody has any questions, then just interrupt me. I don't really know how it works in terms of if you can ask me questions via typing, but we'll just see how it goes, I guess. As you know, the University of Worcester is in the middle of the UK. Sorry, the presentation's jumping around a bit. So we're located about 2.5 hours from London and about 40 minutes from Birmingham. So we're right in the centre of the UK. So it's very easy to get to. For those of you who will join us from your Istanbul office, there's a direct plane, Turkish Airlines flight from Birmingham to Istanbul, and that's only 4 hours, so it's very convenient and easy to get to. If you come to London, that's only 2.5 hours away, so again, that's quite near. Oxford is only 1.5 hours, so we're near some of the most beautiful parts of the English countryside. And this is the region. So Hakan actually, when he came, he only visited the city of Worcester, but we're also surrounded by some really beautiful countryside and beautiful cities. So this here, which is the mountains, these are small hills, they're called the Malvern Hills. This is actually where my house is. So
we see only the first presentation, the University of Worcester. So
it's not moving. Oh.
It's not go to second page.
Really? Okay. I don't know how to.
Is that now is full screen or?
It's full screen, and yeah, I'm moving the pages across. Let me try it. Can you see that better?
No, that's okay. No, that's okay.
That's okay. Okay, I'll keep it like that. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, I'll show you the map again if you haven't seen it. So as you can see, Worcester is here. So we're really located in the heart of the UK, very near Birmingham, very near London, and near some of the most beautiful bits of the British countryside. This is the local region. These are the Malvern Hills. My house is located just down here. It's a really, really beautiful part of the country. This is the Cotswolds, and this is Birmingham. And I know that Turkish students often like to shop, and in Birmingham there's one of the biggest shopping centres in the UK. It's the second biggest city in England, actually, Birmingham. So, you know, if they find Worcester a bit too quiet after a while, they can easily go to Birmingham for the day and then come back again. This is the city of Worcester. I'm sure you've heard a lot about this from Hakan. Well, we showed him all the best bits of the city of Worcester. We were actually voted in the top 10 places to live in the UK, and we're actually the safest city in England. It's a very historic cathedral city, and it's a beautiful riverside location. So this is the cathedral, which I'm sure Hakan has shared some of his photos of with you. This is a very old building, obviously, and it's where the students graduate. So it's where the graduation ceremony is actually held. We're a medium-sized city. I'm not sure about the cities that you're actually based in at the moment, certainly compared to the cities I've been to in Turkey, which is in Ankara, in Istanbul, and in Izmir. All of those cities are, I think, a lot smaller than a lot bigger than Worcester, which is only 100,000 population. And we have great nightlife and great shopping. Everywhere's really within walking distance, which is one of my personal favourite things about Worcester. So you don't have to spend any extra money on transport. You can literally walk from one end of the city to the other end of the city in about 20 minutes, which is very good for your health as well if you walk frequently. I know that some of your students may be looking to study in other places in the world as well. I know when I've obviously visited Turkey, there are students who are deciding between studying in Germany or studying in America, studying in Canada. So why would the students choose the UK over those other destinations? One reason is the very standard English that we have in this area. There's also the experience of living in the UK and also work experience within the UK. Many of our courses actually contain internships, and that gives a really excellent opportunity to the students to improve their CVs and improve their working resume. It's also a highly multicultural learning environment as well. We have students from all over the world studying in Worcester and studying in a very traditional, friendly British environment. English language, I know that this is something that often students are worried about. The undergraduate IELTS we require is a 6.0 and the postgraduate is a 6.5. With both of those, the lowest component that we would need would be 5.5. We do have pre-sessional courses available as well. It's too late this year, really, for the pre-sessional courses. Our 6-week pre-sessional language students will be arriving next week. But obviously next year we will have other pre-sessional courses. So the entry requirements for Turkey, we require a foundation if they get less than 69%. We would actually consider if they get 65% or above in their high school diploma, and we would consider them on a case-by-case basis. If they got less than 65, they would definitely need a foundation to study with us. In terms of postgraduate, we'd be looking at a minimum GPA of 2.2, which obviously, as I'm sure you agree, is a fairly reasonable entry requirement. Oh, sorry, going too quickly again. In terms of the scholarships, we have automatic scholarships, and this is something that should be very attractive to your students. So if the students get a minimum GPA of 2.2, they would automatically be awarded a £2,000 scholarship. If they pass the bachelor's degree with a minimum GPA of 2.7, they would automatically be awarded a £3,000 scholarship. So they don't need to apply separately for the scholarships. As soon as they apply for the course and receive a conditional offer to study with us, we would then be emailing them to confirm their scholarship. About our university, we're one of the fastest growing universities in the UK. We have some courses which are actually excellent standard, for example, our nursing courses which are ranked among the top 30. Our graduate employment rate is over 90%. About our university, we have 6 different institutes. So Health and Society. In Health and Society, some of our most popular courses include MSc Business Psychology. That's one of our most popular postgraduate courses. We also have nursing courses for qualified nurses, and we have an MSc Public Health. And they can come into the MSc Public Health from a very wide range of undergraduate courses, not just health-related, also policy-related and economics. In the Institute of Education, we have an MA Education. So within the MA Education, they can choose different pathways like special education or leadership and management. Humanities and Creative Arts, we have a Creative Digital Media MA, which is one of our most popular postgraduate courses in Humanities and Creative Arts. We also have a very wide undergraduate portfolio amongst all of these institutes. Science and the Environment, that's largely an undergraduate portfolio. One of our most popular courses at the moment is environmental science. We also have human nutrition courses in that area. I should have said also within Health and Society, we do have an MSc Nutritional Therapy and an MSc Diet, Nutrition and Health. We've had quite a few Turkish applicants on those courses. Sport and exercise science, we have a range of courses in that area as well. For example, sports management and sports coaching, both at postgraduate level, and the Worcester Business School. And we have some postgraduate courses in there, which will be very attractive, I think, to Turkish students. Moving on, this is a picture. I'm sure you recognize this guy. So this is Hakan in our agent conference and visiting our Digital Arts Centre. So we have state-of-the-art facilities within our Digital Arts Centre. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, no problem. I just made mute for the others to listen you more perfectly. and we already watched Hakan's movies and the green screen and everything.
Okay, perfect. That's good. I just wanted to double check that I wasn't just talking to myself here. I wanted to check it was still working. Yeah, so I know that Hakan very much enjoyed his visit to the Digital Arts Centre, and we did do a lot with the green screen and with the interactive kind of area of that. In terms of our teaching and research, one of the USPs of Worcester really is that we have smaller class sizes. So it's a very friendly, very supportive environment. A lot of the time the tutors will really have a good opportunity to get to know the students on a one-to-one name basis. That's also very good in terms of their career development. So when the students leave Worcester, often the tutors will still keep in touch with them. And each student is assigned an academic tutor and a personal tutor to guide and advise them throughout their studies. Okay, this is one of our friendly and experienced staff. This is Piet. He's actually a lecturer in children's illustration. And he has a lot of industry experience. And that's really typical of our teaching staff. They come from a really wide variety of backgrounds. So they're not just academics. The vast majority of our tutors here will have a really wide range of experience, and they'll have a lot of practical experience, and that's very good because it gives the students real-world experience and tips on how to succeed in their careers. We have a high retention rate, I should say, of international and EU students. That's good for you guys to know. So you can be confident that once you place the student with us, they're unlikely to return home. Obviously, we can't guarantee that. Occasionally, you know, students do get homesick, but we try our very best to look after the students. So we have an international welcome week when the students arrive, and that's it's usually around the 14th of September. So we have an international welcome breakfast. All of our team actually go to the welcome breakfast, so we'll get to meet the students as well. And they have visa support, banking support. They also have a chance to have social activities, so they really get to know and they get to meet the other people on their course. It's a mandatory induction, and we really must emphasize that it's mandatory. Occasionally, if we have latecomers, we've actually found out that the latecomers who don't attend international induction, they actually do worse in their final grade than the students who do attend. And I think the reason is probably because they have so much opportunity to make friends, to learn about visas, to learn about banking support. And if they miss that opportunity, then they're constantly playing catch up, and it's much, much harder for them. This is Sally, who actually put me in touch with United Towers quite a few months ago now. So he's one of our alumni, and he studied International Marketing Management. So that's actually a different course than we have at the moment. We have MSc Marketing, and we have MSc International Management. But he now works at Turk Telecom, which is, I'm sure you know more about than I do. It's Turkey's leading telecommunications provider. And he has great memories of Worcester. Him and his wife, they've just had a young baby, and they try to visit Worcester every year. And I'm sure they'll be bringing their little one along soon as well. So this is the university. This is kind of an aerial view of the university quarter. The Hive is actually our library. We also have our city campus, which hosts our business school, and the University Arena, which is home to the Worcester Wolves basketball team, which is a basketball team which is actually owned by the university, and it's a very successful basketball team. St. John's campus is our main campus. So apart from business and computing, all the rest of our courses are taught on St. John's campus. And as I said, it's a 20-minute walk. There is a bit of a hill there, but it's an easy 20-minute walk. And this is St. John's campus reception. As you can see, it's quite a green, leafy campus environment. So this is Pearson Study Centre. So this is a student support centre. It's where our visa support is held, and it's where our language drop-in centres are held as well. So this is City Campus. I'm not sure if Hakan told you about the ghost that he might have seen in the basement. So this is a very old building. It's actually where the British Medical Association was founded in 1832. So it's a very historic building. It's obviously been refurbished on the inside. It even has a Starbucks on the right-hand corner there. And it has excellent teaching and computer facilities, has 3D printers and Mac suites and PC suites for our computing students. It also has a small centre for health and wellbeing, and that's on the basement. And that's where some of our nutritional therapy students, they actually run clinics, and our physiotherapy students run clinics as well. So we try and make sure all our students get that real world experience, and they actually get to practice with, you know, students and members of staff. I personally have been to the nutritional therapy clinic, and it was very useful. So this is the Hive, which is one of my favourite buildings in the university. It's a beautiful building. It opened in 2012, and it was actually opened by the Queen of England, also called Elizabeth. And it's a beautiful building. This here on the right-hand side is Story Island. So this is where young children actually get to listen to stories which are told by professional storytellers. What's really unique about the Hive is that we actually think it's the only one in Europe which is fully integrated between the university and the public. So this gives it a very unique environment and unique atmosphere. So basically what it means is that the public use it as well as the people of the city and the students use it. I tend to think that it gets noisier the lower down you go. So the first floor is quite noisy, and you can see the local schools using it and the local people. Students from our education department often work together with the local schools on the basement, and then the higher you go, the quieter it gets, and the fourth floor is actually a research area which is completely silent. It's actually won over 44 different awards now, and it gets more visitors than Oxford and Cambridge libraries. This is Riverside and Garage, so this is a space dedicated to fine arts, dance and performance, and it's also got a 120-seat lecture theatre, so it's an extra learning space for our students. This is the Wooster Arena. So this opened in May 2013, and it's the home for the Worcester Wolves. It's actually the UK's first specifically created facility for wheelchair athletes as well. And here you will see, oh, apologies for that, here you will see the Turkish team. So we actually held the European Wheelchair Basketball Championships in 2015. And as you can see, Turkey were one of the competitors there. I'm not sure how they did, but they certainly competed. Accommodation. So we're rated 5 out of 5 and in the top 25% of universities for great value accommodation. We have a range of different accommodation, and it ranges from the more standard end, which is actually £91 a week this year, to £149 a week, and that's the more luxury end. At the luxury end, all the rooms have ensuite bathrooms and flat screen TVs. It also includes free gym membership. We try and keep our students fit. Also free internet access and possessions insurance. So the fees and finance, which I'm sure is one of the key questions that your students will be asking. For the undergraduate courses, it's £11,400. For the postgraduate courses, it's £12,500. However, we do have some exceptions to that. So this year, we actually have a celebratory bursary on our business school courses. So all the business school courses, I'll actually write that here, the business school masters, these are all 10,000 intake. So potentially, if your students get a scholarship, if they get the maximum scholarship, so if they get GPA 2.7 or over, they would then receive the maximum scholarship of £3,000. So they're potentially getting an MBA for £7,000, which is obviously one of the most affordable university MBAs that the students will be able to find, I think, at the moment. So yes, the MBA, also MSc Finance, MSc Human Resource Management, MSc Marketing, and MSc International Management. So all of those courses would be £10,000. And all of those courses also include an optional internship. And the internships are up to 6 months. And we will give them interview support and CV guidance to try and help them secure the internship of their choice. We can't guarantee the internship, but this year I believe all our students who are actually looking for an internship have secured one. And that obviously is very good for their CVs to be able to show that they've got that UK work experience. Yep, as I was saying there. The MBA also is an early careers MBA, so there's no prior work experience needed. And for the MBA, the International Management and the MSc HRM, all of these are conversion courses. So their undergraduate degree could be in anything. We've had people come from an undergraduate nursing course, undergraduate public health course. So they can come from a wide range of areas to go on to an MBA, an early careers MBA. And again, if they've got a 2.7 in their GPA at their Turkish bachelor's, they would then potentially be converting to an MBA for £7,000. And we really place an emphasis on our vocationally relevant courses. We try and make sure that we make sure the students are prepared for life in the workplace. And we set up partnerships and links with schools, hospitals, businesses, and sports clubs. There's a range of part-time work in the Worcester area. Again, we obviously couldn't guarantee this. We can't force the employer to take the students, but the majority of our students would be successful in finding part-time work. And we also have a careers office which are able to guide and advise those students. And that's the end of my presentation. Please do let me know if you've got any questions. Do you have any questions at all for me?
Thank you, Elizabeth, for your presentation. I will open the microphones of our counselors if they have any questions. My question is, one of them is, how it will be affect after the Brexit?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask anything like that. To be honest, at the moment, for Brexit, for Turkish students, I mean, I don't really think it would have too much of an impact as you're not in the EU. We simply don't know what the future will be at the moment. I'm sure you've been following the news in the UK. It's changing every day. So, there's not too much that we actually can say about the future of the country at this point. All we can do is reassure, the students as well. We're currently reassuring our EU students, for example, that, they would be, this year's intake would obviously be at the same access to the loan as previous intakes. But for Turkish students, I don't think that will have any real impact.
Mm-hmm.
Worcester is still a friendly, welcoming place, and we welcome students of all nationalities.
Sure. I mean, maybe for our side, it's not affect to us. We are not from Poland or Italy or something else. So maybe, I mean, actually, I'm wondering that if the university, because now we will be in the same league with the Europe. Yeah. If the UK is not a member of the EU, then we will be the same league with the EU. So there will be extra scholarships for Turkey, for example, because I mean, after 2 years later, there will be no difference from the Italian student and from Turkey. So if this, I mean, if the universities, what they think, they want to take much more students from Europe, or they will focus to other universities?
What do you mean? You mean if Turkey joins the EU, or?
No. I mean, it's very hard for Turkey to join for a moment. So I mean, if I were at I mean, European country, I will not let to Turkey get into European Union for now. But I'm wondering that if the British universities will focus much more to Turkish market, or they will try to keep their European students, so they will increase the scholarships, or will they focus much more to EU or other markets?
don't believe it will have any sort of real effect in terms. I don't think Brexit will have an effect on the markets that I do. I've never actually done EU recruitment. In terms of my colleague, we have a full-time regional manager for the EU in our office, and I imagine he may be reconsidering his strategy, but that's actually not my decision. It's his. So I don't think it will have any impact on the markets that I do, if that makes sense, as a university.
Okay. And the, one question is about the after.
Okay. No, I'm not, because
students. Is it how?
We've got no link and
Oh, you're freezing. I can't actually
What is
hear
the
you.
process or lecture? If they finish the master's degree at education department, is it possible to be a teacher? What is the procedures?
You mean be a teacher in the UK?
Yep.
So to be a teacher in the UK, they need to do something called a PGCE. It's really tailored for the UK education system, and the application process is different as well. I mean, I can forward you some information about that. The MA education is more, obviously it gives them valuable education experience. A lot of teachers do our MA education courses. We have a lot who've come with government sponsorship, for example, by their teachers, and they've got government sponsorship to come and boost their skills. So whether they wanted to go into education management or that kind of thing. It's not actually a teaching qualification per se. I should also have probably told you a bit about how to apply as well. Obviously, you guys have our application form. Several of the PG business school courses, they also have an online application form. If you use that online application form, just let me know, and then I'll be able to help you chase it, and I'll also tag it to United Towers.
Thank you. Mr. Ashraf has a question, I guess.
Hi.
Yok Kemal Bey.
Sorry. They opened their microphone, so I thought that they will have a question. And is there any questions from other offices? Jana is here.
You can ask me anything. Don't be shy. Any question. Hakan, when he was here, he was very interested in finding out about Turkish restaurants and Turkish people.
Our question bank is Hakan.
Yeah, I think he did actually find one in the end. He stayed out. He went. My colleagues actually took them out to one of our nightclubs, and at the end of the night, I believe he actually found a Turkish person who was selling some late night kebabs. So I think they had a long conversation. I wasn't there. I didn't make it to the end of the night.
You were lucky, beat you, no worry.
Yeah. We also have where I told you I lived in Malvern, which is near those hills. We also have a Turkish-run cafe. So next time one of you come, I'll take you there, and hopefully you'll speak to my friend Farouk, who's Turkish. And so we do have a little. We don't have a large Turkish community, but there are small pockets, I suppose.
Sure. So the Turkish students, what they prefer generally, which departments they prefer?
Well, we've had a few on psychology, business psychology. Turkey's still a relatively new market for us. In terms of applications, we've had a lot of applications for business courses, but also for diet, nutrition and health. I'm not sure why. That was a surprise to me. I didn't realize that diet, nutrition and health would be so popular in Turkey, but it seems to be for some reason. I would encourage students to apply for diet, nutrition and health over nutritional therapy, actually, because nutritional therapy, it has a higher IELTS requirement. It's an IELTS of 7, whereas the diet, nutrition and health is our standard 6.5. Also, I think that with the nutritional therapy, it's a clinical course, so it's actually a lot more competitive and harder to get in. So if they're looking for, I would actually go for diet, nutrition and health, and I think that would be quite a suitable course for people interested in that area.
Thank you. And then for a GPA, its minimum GPA is 2.2, but in Turkey sometimes students have GPAs like 2.1, but still they are not a bad student because in Turkey they are generally low. So it's a
Yeah, you could apply. You could apply. It depends on the course. Some of the courses have more flexible entry requirements. For example, business psychology, public health. I know that they might, be a bit more flexible around that. They might even ask to Skype interview the students. And certainly, I know in Turkey that some of the brightest students go to engineering and do engineering, and that they mark more harshly. So we have actually had that this year. We had an engineering student. I think his GPA was something like 2.05, and I think he was accepted because he went to one of the tougher schools, and he had work experience, and he had curricular activities which really supported his application. So that really helped him.
And for MBA, do you accept the students who has finished the engineering, or they have to be related with the business school?
No. For MBA, we would accept any undergraduate degree.
And no experience, no work experience.
No work experience, no.
Okay. Can I ask you something about MBA programs while we're here? Hi, yeah. Elizabeth, by the way.
Hi.
Hi. It's not usual to not ask for working experience for the MBA programs, and as long as I know, you don't require working experience.
Yeah, it is unusual. We actually do have a different MBA program as well, which is an executive MBA, and that's designed for business leaders. I believe it's part-time only for that one. So this one's an early careers MBA, so it's a different structure. So a lot of courses do ask for work experience for MBA, but ours is designed more as a conversion course. So it's designed for students from a wide range of backgrounds, and it's designed to try and help insert them into the workplace and give them that management experience, and it has internship opportunities as well.
So is that the one you announced on your website? I mean, it says an optional 6 months internship.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that the part-time one then?
No, that one wouldn't be the part-time one. The part-time one isn't suitable for international students. So
yes,
that's why
I was curious.
Yeah, the internship one is the full-time one.
So, do you require anything else? I mean, you don't ask for work experience or
No, we would require an undergraduate degree and the e.watson, obviously. Also, we'd require, the usual standard references, completed application form, copy of the passport, the standard procedure, really.
What would you think about the GPA, like 2.60, the Turkish one? What would you say for the MBA?
2.6, yeah, that's... I think that would be good. That would, yeah, definitely, and that would probably 2.6 would get them the scholarship of £2,000 as well. So an MBA would then be £8,000. So for them, that would be quite attractive.
Great. Last one. What do you think? I mean, Istanbul is a big city, and I've got students who studied there, but based in Izmir now, and I mentioned about the university, about the location yesterday, and he was a little worried about the size of the city.
It's okay.
And what would you say about that? Do you think they will get bored, or I mean, I'm sure it's a lovely city, but Istanbul as well.
Yes, yeah.
So what would be your personal? Yeah.
My personal. I mean, I do think we need to make sure that the students are, have the right fit for them. It's all about finding the right university for the right student. So in terms of them being bored, I personally am not bored in Worcester. It's a very student-led environment. So although it's a small city, the students tend to go to the same nightclubs, the same students' union activity. They bump into each other. It isn't boring, but it is a much smaller, much quieter city than Istanbul. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it doesn't.
Sure,
everything's within walking distance. We have a few key night spots, really. Yeah, if you like, we do have current students working in our office. I could actually see if I could borrow one for a bit to tell you about their student experience in terms of the nightlife and things like that, if that would be useful.
Well, if it's not difficult for you.
Let me see if I can find one. Hang on 1 second.
All right.
Do you think we should talk about the nightlife? If you were bored or not bored, maybe both of you could come and see, anyone who was a student in Worcester, because Okay, I've got two of my colleagues here. They're graduate ambassadors. This is Rosie and Bonnie.
Hi.
I'll leave you guys to maybe sit down and talk about the nightlife. Because it's not something I've experienced.
Hi.
This is Hakan's office. Hakan's not here, but it's Hakan's team, people who work with him at United Towers in Turkey.
Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. What was the main question? Just about being things to do in Worcester?
Well, I've got a student who study in Istanbul. You know, Istanbul is a big city and very lively, and but they're based in Izmir, which is the third biggest city in Izmir. And they sort of compare the cities, and they're, you know, I told them about the city and the location and the campus. But they're a little worried about the social life and if it's too quiet, if, you know, do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think Worcester is a smaller city. It does depend on what the student wants. I mean, if they do want big city, then it isn't that. However, I do think that one of the things that I liked when I came here was the fact that you'd see people that you know. So it is smaller, but you'd go out on a night out and you'd see people from your course, you'd see people from your halls of residence, you'd see people that you've met on social events, and it actually made it easier to make friends because you'd see the same people around, you'd recognise people, and you'd actually, I found it a lot more sociable than a bigger city because people know each other and people are more likely to talk to each other. We do have a lot of societies as well, so that's one of the easiest way for people to make friends and socialise around Worcester. And there are lots of things to do, so you can go, you know, there's cinema, there's bowling, there's nights out, there's lots of places to eat. And also, it's the best of both, really, because of where we are in the country. You can be in a smaller city, but then you can go 2 hours to London. It's only 40 minutes to Birmingham, direct train, it's really easy. So you get the best of both, so you can go to the big cities, but then you do get the social life and the community feel of a smaller city.
Sure, yeah.
When I came here, I thought I'm going to have a hard time to make friends, but then I joined different societies. For example, I've been in a dancing society in boxing, and there were other students, so immediately through that I made and got to know a lot of people, made friends, and then together we went out on, there are 3 different student nights in Worcester, so we always went out together as a group, and then you meet, like Rosie said, my colleague, then you meet other people, and that's how basically you create your little group of friends. So it was never really boring because there's always something to do for students throughout the week and even on the weekends, and the social life itself is very student friendly, so it's not expensive, and there's always a lot going on, in my opinion. So I was very good.
I think the price of it's a good point actually, because you can do more because it's cheaper. So maybe in a big city, I mean, I've never lived in London, but I live in Birmingham, and you can probably go out once a week as a student, because it is a lot more expensive than Worcester, whereas like student nights in Worcester you can take £10 out and you'll be fine. So I mean, it is, I think it creates more of a social life, if anything, as a smaller city.
Okay, well, thank you so much. It was really helpful.
Thank you.
No worries. Do you have any other questions for us? Or do you have to go back to Elizabeth?
For the city, social life is, there's no problem, and you can find everything in the campus. I mean, generally, in your day life, you spend your life in campus or in the city.
Yeah, I think the best thing about Worcester is you can do both. So you're not isolated on a campus that's an hour walk outside of town and you have to rely on buses. You can spend all your time on the campus if you want to, because it's got all the facilities you need. But then if you do want to come into the city, it's a 20-minute walk, and then business students are located in the city centre. So it's a bit of both, really. It depends on how you feel. So it's up to the student whether they want to be in the city all day every day, which they can be. So you don't have to rely on a bus or a car, because obviously most students don't drive, and you don't really want to be spending money on a bus and having to wait for the buses. And so yeah, it's really good in that respect.
Yeah, I never really used the bus or anything. I was just walking because it's so close. So it only took me 50 minutes because I'm a fast walker, to be honest. But we have everything we need in the city. So even shopping-wise, I mean grocery-wise, you can either walk to the city or even St. John's, where most of the students will be located because their accommodations are there. So most of the shopping centers are just around the corner, so it's very cheap, and I would do it again, to be honest. So thank you, students here, if you want to. I really liked it.
I think it says a lot that we sit here and we still
We
work
haven't
in
left,
Worcester
yeah.
and we haven't left the city. So
Yeah.
No.
Is it hard to find accommodation? Because if it's a small city, it could be, you know, not so many spaces, or it's easy.
No, it's easy to find an accommodation. I mean, in your first year, you're still located on campus, but then after your first semester, all the houses around the campus are advertised. So the uni itself creates fairs, so we know which houses are advertised and which houses are safe, and most of the houses here are safe. So in my street where I lived, I only lived 5 minutes away from the uni, and so were my friends. So we were all in student accommodation houses. So we were with families, and then either families were our neighbors or our students, our friends. So it's a bit of both.
I think when I was it got advertised after the first semester, but we were quite late at looking for a house, so we were really worried that we wouldn't find anywhere. But actually, we found a really nice house that was newly renovated. They've got stuff coming up all the time, and if you want to live with one other person, you can, and if you want to live with 6 other people, there's houses for that, and there's even 10-bedroom houses available, and you can meet different people. So I wouldn't say, in my personal experience, that, and I haven't heard anybody else say that they've had difficulty finding a house if they need somewhere. And if you do have difficulty, the university accommodation team are really good in either placing you somewhere or helping you look for a room, a spare room, and placing you with people that need an extra housemate. So I think it's smaller, but then it doesn't mean that you can't find houses. I mean, obviously it's still a city. It's not like it's a small town, so there's loads of places you can live. And like Bonnie said, most people live near the campus in St. John's, and there's loads of student housing around there. They compete for the students because there's so many of them.
So, approximately, how much money do you spend in a month for renting and the social life? And I'm totally, if you say. If you don't mind, you don't have to say that, but
that's fine. So my rent was, in my second and third year, it was around £100 a week. In my second year, I got bills included. In my third year, it was a little bit cheaper because there wasn't bills included, so it was £80 a week. But that was for a house that was right next to a supermarket. It was in walking distance of the university. And that was considered further away, actually, and it was a 10-minute walk. So we were a bit upset that we got a house that was a 10-minute walk. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you want bills included, it's £100 a week, and then that's everything sorted. And then going out, it depends on the kind of things that you're looking to do. I mean, I used to go out about 3 times a week, and
It's
probably
cheap.
spend, probably £10 a night if you...
Because you're getting student deals on every night out. So if you go free on those 3 nights you're going out, there's always offers.
Yeah,
so
free entry for students, and then they do student deals at the bowling as well. So if you get a group of you to go, then I think it's like £5 each for 2 games. And so I'd say I had a part-time job as well, but I don't know, maybe
£10.
I'm thinking of a monthly rate.
I think if it's all inclusive plus
probably
else,
about £800
a month.
a month with your rent included and your food and your going out and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'd say around. But I mean, that's off the top of my head from a couple of years ago, so obviously that's not a
I think I
100%
spent
figure.
600 a month. I don't think I spent. It
depends.
depends on the person, how
Yeah.
you shop as well. I mean, I went to Oscar and Aldi, so it depends who you are, I
Yeah.
think, and how much you shop.
Because I had a job, I spent a bit more and I had the option of spending more. So, but if you don't want to spend the money, you don't have to. It's quite nice like that as well, as you could get away with spending as little as your rent money and then maybe £50 extra for going out and socialising.
Worcester's not expensive. It's very cheap, to be honest. So I think it's up to the person, individual, how much you're spending. So, but you won't be broke or anything.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully not.
no.
And there's lots of jobs going as well, so a lot of the students become student ambassadors, which is something that Bonnie.
Yeah, throughout my studies, I've been a student ambassador as a part-time job, and then, well, now I'm a graduate ambassador, so I haven't really left the uni. But still, there's always some opportunities to work here, which the students, if they're active, then they could make the best out of it, to be honest.
And what did you do as a student ambassador?
Oh yeah, sorry. I helped at Open Days events. So so I've done the Open Days event. I've done campus tours. I've helped with other events. I worked at the basketball events as well. So most of the time events or Open Days. But yeah, it's been good because it's they make sure that even if you work, it doesn't affect your study time, so you choose how you want to work and how long, so it's very good.
Yeah, I think you get an email saying the things that are available, and then you, like the events that are available, and then you can decide if you want to work that many hours. So you could get an email at the beginning of the week saying, you know, there's 12 hours available and you can do the 12 hours, or you can say, I can only do 3 because I've got exams this week, and yeah, so it depends how much you want to work, how much you want to earn, time of year as well. So some of our student ambassadors go to things like airport pickups, and a lot of events, isn't it? So it's really
different
good.
Events.
Yeah, so you get a lot of different experience to put on your CV as well. But that's quite a lot of international students do that actually. It's a way to meet other students that are in a similar position as you, and yeah.
Oh, no.
Thank you so much, both of you, for this.
No worries at all.
It looks.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
No worries. Bye.
Okay. Elizabeth, it's cheaper than Istanbul.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Elizabeth, what is the temperature today? I'm just curious.
The temperature.
Yeah.
Can you see behind me? No, you can't.
Now you're all wearing long sleeves and jumpers and stuff. That's why.
Yeah, let me see if I can move the screen around so I can show you the weather. No, I can't. It's raining. It's raining quite heavily.
Is it?
It's quite hot. I don't know what the actual temperature is. It's hot. What is it? It's 20 degrees apparently.
Oh God!
But it's just raining, and so it's a little bit. When it's raining, you want to wear something long to make you feel better, I suppose. I don't know.
You should visit Izmir, it's 35, 36.
Oh, I do like Izmir. Izmir's a lovely city. I think it's so nice by the sea, and yeah.
Yeah,
I remember last time I went to eat some fish by the boardwalk, and it was really nice.
Okay. Well, is winter normal for this time of the year?
Kind of normal. I would say it's maybe, yeah, I think it's normal. I think it's quite normal for this time.
It's quite wintry.
Our hottest months are usually July and August, but yeah, you're right.
It's 20.
Hotter. I think it will get hotter. I hope it will get hotter because I'm going on holiday in England, so hopefully it will stay kind of sunny, but yeah.
Okay, good, okay. Kemal Bey, it's just the right place for you.
Exactly. I hate from hot weather, so.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I especially on summer, but I have to see the sun too. It's a paradox.
I mean, we do get sun sometimes. It pops out from time to time.
Okay, thank you so much, Elizabeth. It was really helpful.
Yes, Elizabeth, and if you have any questions, we know your email too.
Definitely. e.watson@walk.ac.uk. Yeah. Don't feel shy about emailing me.
Yeah, and I have to say that she's very quick to reply the emails. Thanks so much. And have a nice day, have a nice week. Thank you so much, and hope to see you soon again. Take care.
Yeah. Take care. Have a lovely week.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Work out how to shut this off.